welcome to the Personalities of the Tarot podcast. I'm Elizabeth Seer, author of Personalities of the Tarot, a guide to know thyself through astrology and tarot. I'm working on a revised and expanded second edition, so it's currently unavailable. But if you are interested in learning to read tarot for your own self-improvement and empowerment, my book, Ex Libris Tarot, the revised and expanded second edition, is now available on Amazon for only $11.99 plus tax and shipping. Personalities of the Tarot should be available within the next several months, so keep checking back for updates. Today is October 23rd, 2020, and Mercury and Mars are still retrograde. I can't seem to shake this lack of energy thing I've been feeling since mid-September. How about you? Okay, first things first. We're talking about death and the Five of Cups in this episode and what that energy means to you through the time of Scorpio. Also, a pesky full moon, a blue moon, the second one of the month, is coming October 31st. Happy Halloween? Why will this moon be so rough? Well, it's in the sign of Taurus in direct conjunction with Uranus in Taurus at mostly the same degree. Uranus is super energetic. It's unpredictable, it's progressive, experimental, and really just full of surprises. It also rules the future and those visions and advances for the future. It's typically considered a pretty shocking planet. October surprise anyone? And when it messes with the other energy of the universe, like this full moon conjunction, it upends our way of being. It's very rebellious and always brings about sweeping change in society. Oh yeah, I should also mention Uranus rules over all of astrology. It's the great instigator. But it's through that instigation that ingenuity and enlightenment come out to play. Psychic insight will likely be active during this time, and it's important to pay attention to those messages. Interestingly enough, it's also been believed this time at the end of October, around Halloween through the Day of the Dead time, is when the veil between Earth and the ether is very thin, making it easier to have that psychic vision and talking to the dead. Oh yeah, Mercury, that planet of communication, transportation, agreements, and electronics, it's still retrograde during this time of the full moon as well. Oh, and Mars too. Full moons are all about endings and releasing, so it's going to be a couple of crazy weeks in the run-up to the full moon until a few days after Election Day, November 3rd. I'm staying home, locking my doors, getting some popcorn, and watching comedy movies for that entire time. All right, now that we've gotten the fun October 31st full moon stuff out of the way, let's talk about death. Actually, let's talk about Scorpio, October 23rd to November 22nd, and the death card which rules it. First of all, death isn't the scary card that so many people make it out to be. Although if I'm being honest, change can be very scary at times. The energy of this period denotes a completed chapter, an ending, a parting of ways, an important ending that initiates great change. For those born in the sign of Scorpio, October 23rd to November 22nd, you'll likely have more endings than most in life. I've always said Scorpio are built for transition. I certainly don't mean they can always handle that change, but they do seem to have a lot of it during their lifetime. My advice for Scorpio is to remember that you have to let go, clearing out the old, to make way for the new and better things to come. When things are no longer for your highest good, you should leave the past behind and open yourself up to new opportunities. If they're manifesting their more shadowy side of death in Scorpio, you may have an extreme fear of death. You may have an extreme hesitation toward change, or maybe you've had to deal with an unusual amount of loss in your life. You need to prevent yourself from putting up roadblocks to change because it just gets in the way of forward movement. For those of all signs now, it could feel like you're moving into unknown territory and facing the inevitable. Allow transformation to unfold with the knowledge that endings and loss open new chapters in your life. Try to gain closure, move on, and prepare to grow in this process. And remember, there is no growth in the comfort zone. It's famous and infamous Scorpio birthday time. Here's a random list of Scorpio born October 23rd to November 22nd. Pablo Picasso, Hillary Clinton, Julia Roberts, Katharine Hepburn, Carl Sagan, Fyodor Dostoevsky, sorry if I messed that up, Kurt Vonnegut, Prince Charles of Wales, Joseph McCarthy, Linda Evans, Indira Gandhi, Robert Kennedy, Matthew McConaughey, Anthony Kiedis, Marie Antoinette, Jimmy Kimmel, Leonardo DiCaprio, Shailene Woodley, Goldie Hawn, Pete Davidson, Emma Stone, Gabrielle Union, Gerard Butler, and Joe Biden. Besides the transformation of death, this first period, this first decan of Scorpio, October 23rd to November 2nd, has us working with the energy of the Five of Cups. It's mourning, sadness, and loss. Not in that stabbing in the heart way like Libra's Three of Swords, but more in the achingly sad kind of way as you say goodbye to how things were. It could feel like defeat, hopelessness, and just sorrow. You may experience feelings of regret as you let go of a person or a situation in your life. You may find yourself wishing for what might have been. Although this is a period of great emotional and/or spiritual upheaval, it can lead to a much-needed cleansing. Don't allow overwhelming emotions to stop you in your tracks. Your loss may be challenging, but you really must try not to focus on the lack of fulfillment or bitter memories. Now, in more traditional tarot decks, the card for the Five of Cups shows a man crying with 5 cups around him, 3 of which have spilled and are now flowing away from him down a river. Remember that water in the tarot is a metaphor for emotions, relationships, love, and inspiration. The important part to remember about this time is that I said 3 of the 5 cups have spilled. Once you can look up from your sadness, you'll see there are still 2 cups, which are full of opportunity. It's up to you to seize it. Now here are a few more famous Scorpio narrowed down to the first decan of the sign, October 23rd to November 2nd. Winona Ryder, Willow Smith, Ryan Reynolds, Drake, Katy Perry, Bill Gates, Gwendolyn Christie, Brienne of Tarth on Game of Thrones, Rita Wilson, Kelly Osbourne, Joaquin Phoenix, Caitlyn Jenner, Penn Badgley, and David Schwimmer. Okay, death, the Five of Cups, full moon next to Uranus, plus Mercury retrograde. Buckle up, because these next 2 weeks might get wonky, emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. Remember that great inspiration comes through in art and music with the movement and upheaval of our emotions. Your mantra for the next week or 2 is, water moves energy and tears are cleansing. If you'd like to support my work, because I could use all the support right now. Please feel free to book a psychic reading with me through my website, elizabethseer.com. That's Seer, S-E-E-R. You can also go directly to my shop from there and purchase a recorded reading. I'm going to offer through the end of the month, so through October 31st, I'm going to offer my listeners, and only my podcast listeners, a 50% off deal on live appointments. All you have to do is mention Personalities of the Tarot for half off your reading when you make your appointment at my website. If you'd like to learn tarot, please go to Amazon.com and look for Ex Libris Tarot, the second edition. It's available for only $11.99. You can also donate directly to this podcast at anchor.fm/Elizabeth Seer. So finally, grab your comfy clothes, tissues, a bottle of wine or 10, and prepare to lay low while you work through the changes on the horizon. You got this. We got this. And don't forget, we're all dealing with it in some way. I'm Elizabeth Seer, and I'm grateful for this time with you. Hey everybody, one last thing on a personal note. If you are of voting age and you are a U.S. citizen and have the ability to vote, please make sure to do so. Democracy does not work unless everyone participates. So voting early is what everyone out there is encouraging. I suggest you vote early if at all possible, but no matter what, make a good plan for voting. You want to make sure that you get to your locations on time, allowing yourself enough time to possibly stand in line, bring your water, bring whatever you need, but let's make democracy work.